Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you guys are doing great. Just this is a small tip and trick tutorial about how to calculate maximum values and minimum values from a set of values that you already have inside Houdini or some kind of an asset. So let's start with basic test geometry. I have a geo right there. Just gonna put a pig head. Then I'm gonna scatter a lot of points. I don't need any kind of attributes. So let's add a clean and let's remove everything. So I don't have any attributes. I only have scatter. Scatter, I have 1,000 points right there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add like an attribute random. That will just create a random attribute. Now it's set to CD. I'm gonna say val. If I put val, it's set to a vector. I don't need vector. I need a scalar value. As you can see that we have the values ranging from 0 to 1. Okay, so now we actually want to find the maximum and the minimum values, all right, from this whole thing. Imagine like that, let's just change this, from -5 to 3 or something. So these values are like non-normalized, okay, but you have to normalize them, like from 0 to 1. So what you're gonna do is you can actually find minimum and the maximum with Attrib Promote, which is like the best way to find it. You can save lots of time. You can go to the point attribute. You can set the value as well, promotion to maximum. Then you can change it. Don't delete the original. Then just set it to detail. You can say let's put max val. So I have now a maximum value for this. So if you go detail, you can see the maximum value is 2.99. Let's check it. Yeah, maximum value is 2.99. Minimum is negative 4.99. So now for me to find the minimum value, I'll change this to minimum, and I don't need this attribute anymore. I'll just say min. So if I go detail again, you can see that I have the minimum and maximum. So you can see that it's working, but I have to add 2 nodes. Then I'll have to write a lot of stuff. So let's do this thing with a wrangle. Okay. Let's create a wrangle. There you go. So now since we have a wrangle, let's write some code. So the first thing we have to do is we're gonna have to add every single value we have in an array. If you don't know what's an array, I'm just hoping that you know some sort of a code. If you don't, it's also totally cool. So we're gonna work on detail mode. Okay, so let's write the code. So the first thing we have to do is we need all the values in a single array. Okay, we need all the values in a single array. So for that, what we have to do is we have to put each val into an array that we're going to create. So let's start with the total number of points. And points 0. So now the points are holding every single number of points that we have on this set. So then what we're going to do is we're going to have to put a for loop for int I equals 0, I is less than points, I plus plus. Then the loop starts. Now what we have to do is we're going to have to call in a variable that will store the value of val for us so that we can send it to the array. So since val is a float, we're going to have to put float. It's a variable, let's call it val equals, since it's a point attribute, I will just call in point function 0 comma first input. Then the values, the attribute name is called val. Then which point numbers we need, since we have total number of points are about 1,000, so we have to store the value of I that is gonna go over and over till it meets total number of points. So I, then close it. Now we have every single value of the val attribute stored inside val. Okay, that is just processing, but he's letting it go because he doesn't know where to put it. So let's write append. Append is going to push the value of val to the array that we are going to add. So let's add the array. Since val is a float attribute, I'm gonna have to put float. Then let's write an array. Let's call the array val array. Let's put the big brackets because that's how you define an array. Append function takes in the name of the array, then what value you want to add it to the array. So the value's name is val. So then we close it. Now we have every single value that is in the values for each point inside this array called as val array. Now this is where it gets a bit interesting. So now since we have everything in the array, so we're going to use add two more floats. So the floats are float min val, then float max val. So now we are going to store the minimum and maximum on these two values. Then we're going to promote them to attributes. We'll see. So now let's find the minimum. So the min val equals to, we have a function like in VEX, it's called min. So min takes in an array. So we already have the array. It's called val array. Okay, so now we have the minimum value from the array. Now for the maximum value, we have to put max val equals to max val array. There you go. So now we have two variables that are min and max val, and they are storing the value for min and max. Now we can send them to detail attribute. Okay, let's do that. So to send them to detail attribute, I don't have to do any set detail attrib. I can just do it from here. So let's do that, and let's put f at this equals to this. Then for the max value, I'll just do same thing, f at max val equals to max val. We had to put semicolons because this is VEX. As soon as I do that and I go to detail, you can see that we have promoted these two without having to add any attribute promote. Okay, so min max values. So there you go. So this is really helpful if you have to do some calculations, immediately on like your VEX code, and you don't want to go back to another wrangle and add 2 extra nodes for this. So this is really helpful. You can see that we do have the same values. If I go there and I go there, we have same values. So it kind of like works. This saves a lot of time and also gives you some time to finish your code rather than splitting your code like in multiple wrangles. Okay, so I hope this helps. Okay, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.